Learning target 7.09, solving quadratic equations by factoring, is one of the most important, if not the single most important, learning target that we're going to encounter in this unit. It's going to come up in every lesson that we see, and we're going to use the same basic strategies, just with the new methods for factoring that we've come across. That strategy is we're going to rearrange the equation so that it's equal to 0. If it's already equal to 0, then nothing to worry about. In this case, this equation is not equal to 0, it's equal to 28. So I'm going to rearrange this by subtracting 28 from both sides. And get x squared minus 3x minus 28 equals 0. To solve by factoring now, I'm going to factor the left-hand side with the intent of trying to get this into a bunch of things that are multiplied together. And we saw in previous lessons that the only way for 2 or 3 or any group of numbers that are all multiplied to multiply and have their answer be 0 is if one of them is 0. So we're going to figure out what multiplies to make x squared minus 3x minus 28. And then the solutions are going to be the x's that when I substitute in will make any single one of those terms equal to 0. So let's use what we've been working on to factor the left-hand side. If I use just to remind yourselves, if we use the box, I need to multiply the first and last terms on the left-hand side together. So that's minus 28x squared is my multiply. My add is the middle term, which is negative 3, or negative 3x. So I need to find a pair of numbers that multiplies to minus 28, but adds to minus 3. So let's see, numbers that multiply to minus 28 are 28 and 1. One of them is positive, one's negative. But I can't subtract them. I'm subtracting them because one's positive, one negative. I can't subtract them to get negative 3, so not that. How about 14 and 2? 14 minus 2 is not negative, cannot ever be negative 3. 7 and 4. Ooh, if I make the 7 negative and the 4 positive, negative 7 plus 4 or 4 minus 7 is negative 3. Oops, and 4x. So that tells me I could have better written this as x squared minus 7x plus 4x minus 28. Again, if I'm using the box, then I would make a box. I'm going to take my 4 terms of this polynomial and put them into the box where they came from. This is the answer to a multiply question in the first place. And then the middle term is somewhere in these two boxes. It, again, does not matter. And now I just need to figure out what multiplies on the outside to make this box up. In order to get an x squared, I think I need an x and an x. To get a minus 7x out of here, I need to multiply this x with a minus 7 on top. And to get a plus 4 here, I need to multiply this x with a plus 4 down here. And let's double check. 4 times negative 7 should be this box right here, and that is in fact negative 28. So I think what this tells me is that I could rewrite, by factoring, I could write this equation as x minus 7 and x plus 4. And this equals 0. What are the solutions? The solutions are any x that makes this term 0, or better yet, the solution to this one-step equation, which tells me x equals 7, or the solution to this one-step equation, x plus 4 equals 0. So I think the two solutions to this quadratic equation are x equals 7 and x equals minus 4. try that one more time. This time, instead of using a box, I'm going to factor this using the shortcuts that we discussed in the previous learning target. Again, in order to factor this, I need to get I need to get this equal to 0. So I'm going to subtract 24 and get s squared minus 2s minus 24, and this is equal to 0. Let's see, our multiply number is negative 24 s squared. Our add is minus 2s. So what two numbers multiply to negative 24 squared but add to minus 2? See, numbers that multiply negative 24 are 24 and 1. They don't subtract to be, again, subtracting because they multiply to be negative. They don't subtract to be 2. 12 and 2, and it's 12 minus 2 is 10. 8 and 3, 8 minus 3 is 5. Seems like we're getting closer. But 6 and 4. 6 minus 4 is 2, or how about 4 minus 6 is negative 2? So how about positive 4 and minus 6? Our shortcut tells us that we don't need to do any further, since the leading term is 1, that these are the two numbers that are going to be in the parentheses along with an s for each of these. So because of our shortcut, I know that our polynomial factors to s and positive, how about s is positive 4 and negative 6. And again, this thing we factored is equal to 0, so it's equal to 0. I can solve this just as we did in the previous example. The solutions to this equation are any of these s's that I can choose that makes either one of those two terms 0. And I think there are two numbers that do that. There's s plus 4 equals 0, or better yet, s is negative 4. And there's s minus 6 equals 0, or better yet, s equals 6. So the two solutions to this quadratic equation, s squared minus 2s equals 24, are s is negative 4 and s equals positive 6.